obviously, if you're in the Chiefs world, we lost a legend. In the NFL world, really, and the broadcasting world, we lost a legend. Len Dawson, 87 years old, passed away. Obviously, Kansas City legend. Won a Super Bowl, was the MVP of Super Bowl. And kind of it all, and also a thing that a lot of people don't bring up, and I've noticed watching the shows is Len Dawson. We talk about his famous Super Bowl halftime with the cigarette in his mouth, the beer, and at the halftime, he did stuff that like at the time wasn't such a was a big thing with athletes kind of getting into the space of media. When
Yeah.
he first came on to inside the NFL, that was kind of a rarity to see a former player getting into the broadcasting world, and he really embraced the broadcasting world because he did that for so long. Doing
Yes.
inside the NFL, and then he went into local media with Kansas City. So Len, it's sending my condolences to their family. And JD, you being with the Chiefs for so long, I'm sure you got to know a little bit about Len Dawson. Can you kind of talk to us about your experiences with Len?
Yeah, man. Just want to say, I'm just sending prayers out to his family. I know it's a tough time for them anytime they would lose somebody, but somebody who is a legend like Lenny, uh, it kind of hits you a little bit different, especially somebody that I had a chance to get to know out there at Kansas City. And every interaction with Lenny was always pleasant, always pleasant. And I just enjoyed talking to him because he just had that wealth of knowledge, but also too, like his warmness about his disposition and his character is one of those things that really drove you into him. And so I think I put on Twitter, like Lenny would always come in. Every time we have a conversation, we come in, he always thought like, man, JD, he said, Jason, man, I would just love to have a big tight end to throw to you. My gosh, man, I just love to have it. And he'd be like, man, put your hands up. Let me see those big hands. And I show him my hand. He's like, man, look at those mitts. Look, he said, man, I would love to have a guy like you. And so I'm sitting there thinking like, wow, he's saying that about me. I would have loved to have had, play with, with Len Dawson, and just uh but yeah, man, I think sometimes those memories when you have with somebody that has passed before us, those good memories are the things that we should hold on to kind of remember a guy, man. But it's a sad day, no doubt about it. It was really, really sad news just to kind of hear. I remember when he went in and somebody didn't say he was doing well, just kind of pray for hopefully his recovery and whatnot. But kind of here we are, man. But we're just going to play, homage to one of the Chiefs legends, one of the best to ever do it. And so in the NFL, the things he's seen, I mean, we're talking about the numbers. And so Len Dawson brought the first Super Bowl to Kansas City, and played in two Super Bowls. And I mean, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal, because, at the time when, all the thing was making a transition into the NFL to make it to what it is, you could say like that he was part of like that whole structure of putting this thing together. And so for what he did for TV, and I think sometimes when people kind of forget, like, where he started, it's almost like sometimes when, maybe the younger generation will see these announcers on there, they don't really know what they actually accomplished,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to them being on TV. Like, well, yeah, I know this guy from TV. He does, sports channel stuff like that. I said, no, but do you know who this guy is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know his career? And so, like, Lenny was that guy. He was the guy that had that real soothing, uh, calming voice. And every time he spoke, I would always hear like that, inside the NFL, like that voice of, that you would hear on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like one of the doctors giving you like a soothing voice. You want a doctor you want to hear from, right? That was kind of like Lenny had. There was that comforting, sultry voice and feeling that he had about him, man. So he's going to be sorely missed, sorely missed, from his teammates. And I was just thinking about that, just teammates that played with him, the people that knew him. Uh, it's going to be a space that's gone, man, but we're going to hold him up, forever. So here's to you, Len Dawson, uh, Chiefs legend, friend, and guy that wanted the big guy to throw to like me, man. I love Lenny tremendously. So,
And that's the thing too. It's like, a lot of times, you see, and like, he played the first NFL, first Super Bowl ever. Him and Hank Strand versus Bart Starr and Lombardi. That's a big deal. And the fact that, like,
huge deal.
The fact that we see so many players now getting involved, and look at the podcasting world. I mean, that started somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Guys like Len Dawson, when he left the football, he went to broadcasting. It spoke what players see on a big screen. So like that's a huge deal. He meant a lot to the sport.
Yeah, and not just to get in there and do it, but like doing it well for a long time. Yeah. That's the thing about it. So, yeah, man, when you have one of those guys who are like the Trailblazers,
yeah,
you got to celebrate that too, man, for sure. So yeah, man, our thoughts and prayers amount out for the Dawson family and everybody, the Chiefs organization, and everybody that had a chance, an opportunity to meet this wonderful man. Yeah, he's going to be missed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I only met him once. It was at an autograph show in Northern Virginia. I was going to get my brother. My brother has this Chiefs helmet, and I was going to get him to sign it. So we went to this autograph show, and it was probably 2008. It was the year after we drafted Brodie Croyle, and I was really excited. I loved Brodie Croyle in college. I thought it was badass. So I had number 12 jersey. I go there with my brother to get it signed. And he goes, and keep in mind, he's working in Kansas City. He's still calling games and stuff. I mean, he knows what's going on. He knows the team.
Yeah.
And he goes, whose number is that? Who is that jersey? And I'm like, it's Brodie Croyle. And he goes, exactly. Who?
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I guess I didn't understand he was being sarcastic. I was
yeah.
After he signs and stuff, like, shook my brother's hand, and then we were on our way out, and I was like, dude, he just killed Brodie Croyle. I was like, did he not know who that was? He was like, no, he knew who that was. That was his joke, though. It's like, who? It's like another quarterback. Like, who is that?
Right. Come on. We wanted this number like that. Like, hey, he was a bad boy, so he let him know, like, hey, listen, this is here, numero uno guy. So.
And I didn't have a number 16 Len Dawson jersey. I was excited about Brodie Croyle. I was like, I think Brodie Croyle's gonna be something big for us. I was like, I put it on, and I went there, and like he dogged the jersey.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
But yeah, sending our condolences out to the family and the whole NFL community, the whole NFL world. Like that's a big loss.
Yeah.
But
Hall of Famer, man, Hall of Famer. I mean, this man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, when you just start thinking about, his reach, what he actually did and accomplished, the people that, he crossed paths with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it's huge loss. Huge loss.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.